I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. Hockey, baby.
That was cool.
Man, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Men, women.
That was wonderful.
Hockey.
Yeah.
Grabbing the gold from Canada.
Yeah, and two great ways to win both games. Kind of fun. Kind of not.
Right.
Yeah. Really exciting. Great performances, about in the net to both sides. And it was fantastic. Both teams.
I want to get Blake's take on this because like the overtime where only it's like 3 guys out there, 4 guys out there.
Yeah, 3-on-3. Yeah.
What? I didn't expect that.
I think it's great because I love the idea of every so often just yank somebody off the field. I wish that in sometimes soccer the field is too big, but I wish there was a way they'd be able to do that. I think it's hilarious, and I love watching it because it creates more space and it's more demanding, and it gets you back to those little kid drills. All kids have done a 3-man drill in any sort of team sport that you've played. If it's played with a round ball or a puck, you don't necessarily have a 3-man drill as much in football, but basketball, you've got it in soccer, you've got it in hockey, you've got that kind of 3-man drill where it's 3-on-3. You've got that. So this is about getting the skates, going on the back pond, and playing as if you did before you ever put on any of the fancy sweaters or before you were playing for sponsorships or anything else. Getting to that 3-on-3 overtime, for me, that's when you get back to playing like a kid. And you've got to play with that freedom like a kid, because if you're too tight, you're gonna screw up. So yeah, that was kind of fun to see. I enjoyed the heck out of that.
It was a wild weekend. We've got a lot to talk about today. We'll cover the hockey games, the Mexican cartel uprising that's taking place, Trump's new tariffs, an endorsement withdrawal coming just a few days after our interview with Hope Schepelman, where we talked all about that. Trump going, Jeff Hurd, no longer interested. Not getting the endorsement anymore. It's been withdrawn. We'll cover that as well. Plus, we're going to have folks from the Ashbos Center for Therapy live in studio in the 9 o'clock hour. So, lots to cover today. Now it's time for the news.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Hey, good Monday morning. 23 and clear in Denver, 24 in the Springs, expecting highs in the mid-60s today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning. For a new home heating and cooling system, contact your Lennox dealer, Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at pastorcamp.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Our top story, the State Department says U.S. citizens in several Mexican states should shelter in place due to security operations, road blockages, and criminal activity. It comes after Mexican security forces killed cartel leader El Mencho in a major military operation, prompting widespread fighting among the various drug cartels in Mexico. The areas affected include the popular tourist destination Puerto Vallarta. The U.S. men's hockey team facing Canada in the gold medal game on Sunday. It goes to overtime, tied at 1.
Now Jack Hughes pokes it around McCarr. United States with numbers. Back across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the miracle, the United States takes the gold. Jack Hughes beating Jordan Bennington.
Wow, that incredible. 2-1 in OT, Jack Hughes, the game winner, and Connor Hellebuck. Between the pipes, 41 saves, 3 or 4 incredible saves.
It was remarkable. Here,
Wasn't that
and I
awesome?
love the kid, Jack Hughes, with half the tooth left.
That's right.
Right,
Looked like a hockey player. Looked like a real
That's a
hockey
hockey player. That's a hockey player.
That's right.
So I guess he got popped by a stick in the middle of the game, right?
Yeah. Took a stick to the mouth.
Yeah. And then it splits like jagged. He's got a bloody mouth, scores the game-winning goal, and then goes to the sideline, talks about how much he loves America
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That picture with him with the flag on his back and the broken teeth, that will be one of those iconic moments from this Olympics. And when they go forward in the future and talk about, hey, the Olympics are coming, etc., that's the picture you're going to see. It's beautiful.
Yeah, there are so many great photos in post game and everything that was going on. I'm going to play this. Hellebuck, the goalie, starts chanting, and then Hughes comes up and talks in their little celebration event afterward.
USA! USA!
Obviously, so many people. Everyone in this room has helped us so much get to this point. We're champions for a lifetime. We're so proud to be here. We're so proud to be American. And what a night for USA hockey.
Everybody raise your glass. Cheers to this group and play Freebird!
That was awesome. So DJT will have the men's and women's gold medal teams at the State of the Union tomorrow.
Did you hear the call from the president to the locker room?
Yeah, Cash Patel's in the park in the locker room, and he's like, "Hey,
what is
I know
he doing there, by the way?"
Yeah, what is the director of the FBI
That was the
doing
only
celebrating
negative
in,
of the whole thing.
That's just weird.
Like, dude, get out of the locker room. It's their celebration.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. If we would have seen James Comey hanging out with the Lakers or running into,
agree with you.
running into like the Eagles locker room, we're champions. You'd be like, get out, just get out. Yeah,
we do have the audio of this is the president calling Cash Patel, who's in the locker room.
And if it cuts off, that's because I didn't catch all of the words. But we'll see what
we'll
happens
do
here.
our best. But here's my favorite part of it. So there's a few things here that are great. One, the cans opening in the background are the boys opening cans of beer. All right, so they just won the gold medal. They're mouths bloodied up. They love their country. Everyone's celebrating. They're opening cans of beer. The president of the United States calls them. Here's some of that audio.
Watch 1 minute. 1 minute. And by the way, your goalie played not bad.
Howie, say hi to him. How you doing, Don?
How you doing, Don? And then he goes on to invite them to the White House or to the State of the Union and the White House. I'll get the military plane, all that, and then he throws in this little, we got to bring the girls along too.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah,
that was a weird slight as far as it was a very weird.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that.
I'm the bros. Look at me. That's a weird one. And the thing that got me was I was talking to Jeff about it beforehand when he talked about, oh yeah, and I've got to bring those girls over, and their tiny lady brains. The thing that got me was those ladies all have one more gold medal than the president does.
Yeah,
so don't complain. Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah,
it was such a
them
slight.
as well.
Yeah,
exactly.
And their win was
doubt.
fantastic.
Yeah,
that winning goal was
absolutely.
beautiful.
What
We
do you
should
guys-
celebrate that.
What do you make of all this? Beating Canada not once but twice, and my entire social media feed yesterday was that American eagle stomping the Canada goose into the ground. It was American pride, and politics aside, with how crazy Canada's got with its liberal policies, it was kind of like two brothers. That's kind of how I saw it. One brother, celebrating his victory over the other brother. Kind of, a good-hearted rivalry with our neighbor to the north.
Well, it's their pastime, it's their sport. So anytime you beat Canada in hockey, it's a big deal. If it's any other sport, it doesn't really matter. But everyone understands the best players typically comes from Canada. It's their culture. It's what they do. So, I just thought it was great. I don't know. Outside of hockey, we look at Canada as Billy says, America's hat. And if it's on the ice, it's a big deal. They've been dominating forever.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal because it matters so much to them. And I think that's what hurts them a lot is we're kind of the come-latelys to it. And we keep stealing all of their Canadian hockey clubs, including the Nordiques. Woo, Avalanche! So I get it. I understand why they're mad at us. But there is something where this ain't even our sport. And we stomped in it. There's a little bit of fun in there, but it's always kind of a little bit good-natured. But, I saw the Canadian hockey players were mad. They were really upset because it means more to them than it does, to Americans, by the way.
And the thing is now, Canadians, for the past 2 decades, probably 3, they've been, making their way to places like Arizona and North Texas, and they bring their family and friends, and they'd rather live in the warmth than in the cold. And they bring the game, and they bring the clubs, and they bring the excitement. The Dallas Stars used to be Minnesota's team, close to the border, and then, as you mentioned, the Nordiques and all the population, the hockey population, just moving south. I mean, you used to never have ice rinks in places like Dallas or Phoenix, and now they're all over the place. So they have kind of moved that thing, transferred that thing to warm weather states, Tennessee, Florida. I mean, you never saw that 20 years ago, and now America is reaping the benefits, So we will see what happens in the future.
Now, Blake, I want to break. We're going to totally break protocol because, again, it's Monday and nobody who's in charge is up yet. So we're going to do this. I want to bring Fred from Longmont on with the Jeff and Bill show. He just talked to me behind the scenes here. And so he's going to be joining Blake, Jeff, and myself on the air this morning because he had something very unusual about some of our national hockey players, kind of a weird congruence of their background and where they're from. Good morning, Fred. How you doing?
Good morning, gentlemen. Nice to talk to you.
Hey, nice to talk to you,
man. It's a great day when we win the gold medal, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic, man. So talk to me about what you were telling me off air about the women and also the men's players.
Okay, the woman that scored the winning goal in overtime and the 4 guys that were on the ice in overtime when the winning goal was scored are all from Michigan.
Oh, wow.
That's really cool.
That's impressive.
Yeah, Dylan Larkin plays for the Red Wings, went to the University of Michigan. The goalie is from Michigan, and the guy that set up the feed for the winning goal, and all 4 of them, plus the woman. So I would say, I know Coloradans love to talk about Colorado, but this time I think Michigan gets a little of the glory.
Yeah, they're going to need a state parade.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Think so.
Dude, Fred, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
That's great.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Fred,
have a great day. Love that.
Fred?
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh,
I was going to say, man, all my neighbors in Longmont growing up, like half of them were from Michigan.
They figured out that Longmont's kind of like the outskirts of Michigan, but the weather's much better. That both in the summer and in the winter. Yeah, it's not as cold, not as much snow, and the giant bugs aren't here. So that's a win-win-win. Yeah,
very good point. Yeah, I was saying when he was bringing up Michigan, I think Mike Modano is from Michigan, one of the great Michigan hockey players.
I love the idea that Michigan contributed so significantly to both gold medals. That's pretty cool. That is really cool.
Now, gentlemen, I got to ask you, honest question.
Uh-oh.
Did you get a ting of patriotism on Sunday morning when you saw that America won? Did you get excited about our country?
Yeah,
Blake.
I did, until I saw Cash Patel in the locker room.
Billy, how about you?
I always enjoy when I've dropped in and out of some of the coverages just to see what's going on. I really enjoy. I geek out on curling probably too much than I should. I don't sit there and watch it for hours, but I do enjoy it. And I've got a backstory on curling that takes me back to my high school as far as learning curling. And so that's why I kind of geek out on that. And I love watching the half pipes, and I love watching the snowboard cross. So if I can find some of those on there, although shout out to, I think it was either the Onion or the Babylon Bee. No, it was the Onion that had probably the best line of the Winter Olympics so far, and it basically was other skiing athletes want to know if they can carry a gun too, like the biathletes. I like that. That's pretty good. I like that one.
You may have seen this headline from the Huffington Post. This is not a joke. If waving the American flag or chanting USA turns you off right now, you're not alone. And it's an entire article about how loving America, while also hating America right now, continues, this is a quote, continues to be one of the main topics that therapists hear in their practices.
Yeah.
What, one of the main topics?
Yeah, main topics.
Main topics.
Yeah, you would think it has died off a little bit, but yeah, that's amazing.
That's weird that it's a main topic.
Well, I mean, look.
Frank called back saying there was another guy that was there on the team as well, that was from Michigan as too. So yeah, so it's the real watch Michigan. I think he's from Michigan.
Did you
personally.
guys ever have friends with from Michigan who did the hand thing? Every time you'd be like, "Where are they from?"
Oh,
and they
yeah.
hold up their hand.
Oh, yeah.
And they go,
Yeah.
Yeah. But this, this was an entire article in Huffington Post over the weekend while everybody is celebrating and honoring. Corvus comes by and shows me his
because he's
hand.
from Michigan. Yeah.
John's from Michigan.
Yeah, he is.
So everybody's celebrating this. Look, and there's been times I've been disappointed in our government. Are you kidding me? The 8 years Barack Obama was running the country into the ditch, I was not happy with our country, but I was still so proud to be an American, always proud. It blows my mind that there's people out there looking at these athletes getting incredible victories for our country, and somehow it's such an issue that you have to go to your therapist about it.
I just look at the thing for me is that's I understand people seeing therapists for a lot of different reasons, but that one.
Great
and that's
point.
That's why I couldn't be a therapist, because
What the
I'd
hell's
sit
wrong
there and
with
go,
you?
really? I'm like, Susie just left here and she's dealing with this and this and this. I'm like, I'm going to give you this stuffed animal, and I'm going to reach over here and I'm going to give you this lollipop, and I'm going to give you this blanket, and you can have a nap over there in the corner. And when you feel better, you can wake up, because this is silly that's your
Bill,
about.
the funny thing is,
So I
for
can't
as
do it.
much as you and I disagree on things,
Yeah.
you and I are the same personality when it comes to that.
Excellent.
Because
Same here.
I was, and Blake too, I was training to be a pastor, and one of the reasons I never actually became a pastor, even though I'm ordained and all that other stuff, was because I don't want to deal with the counseling side of things, where I'm like, have you tried taking a walk?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And
Yeah.
taking a nap.
Breathing to 5, take deep breaths, and let's just,
Have you tried to turn to Jesus?
Exactly.
Right.
I'd say I would just my office would be like the Dennis Leary therapy session. It'd be like, life sucks, get a helmet, here's the helmet. See you next week. Tell me how it goes with the helmet. And be it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an actual line from the article, guys. If waving the American flag or chanting USA makes you feel grossed out or ashamed, don't worry, you can still cheer for individual athletes.
Yeah, it's silly.
Can you just celebrate
Silly
your
stuff.
country, even in the midst of political differences? Bill, to the point we had last week, you're like, I believe in the American ideals. I believe in the idea of America, all that stuff. Yeah, there's times where people we don't like get elected.
Yep.
But the idea that you can't cheer for your country,
Yes.
and these kids out there, like what happened on Sunday morning,
Yeah.
give me a break.
And the thing that makes me so mad about I'm so disappointed, I'm so angry about the country now, that's fair. That's fair. But you understand that here in a couple of years, we choose again. And a couple of years after that, we choose again. And that's the magic of this. So celebrate who these kids are. And for me, on the athlete level, these kids have gone for years and years and years and trained. And, let's do a throwback. Now, Blake will remember this one. The whole, the Dan versus Dan advertising.
Dan O'Brien.
Yes, exactly. And so those guys trained for years, and it was a huge multinational campaign, and they were everywhere, and it was Dan versus Dan in the decathlon, and this is like the second coming of Bruce Jenner, and who's going to win this time, and then one of them doesn't qualify. Whoopsies.
Right.
Sorry about that. Training
Because
that
of
entire
the pole
time.
vault.
Yes. And whoopsies. Didn't make it there.
Oops.
Yeah.
And all the Wheaties boxes.
I know. All the Wheaties boxes, all that, no good anymore. Yeah.
Right.
So these guys have spent so long, and it's just that dream to put on that red, white, and blue. I've listened to a lot of international soccer players, and they say that there's something different. That, yeah, the club, because they pay you, means a lot, but there's something different when you put on the jersey that has your country's name on it. There's something different about that, and you feel differently. They say that it's really cool standing there in the Champions League final and hearing the song, but when you're standing there during the World Cup and they hit your national anthem, every single international soccer player says that's just different. It's on a different level, and you should be able to celebrate that. That, yes, this is on a different level. Yeah, you don't have to like who's in charge. You don't have to like the people that are running our state. Doesn't matter. Just celebrate the kids that, wear the red, white, and blue and work their rear ends off in order to get there. Yeah.
What country are you going to cheer for? I mean, really, because every one of them is corrupt. So, I mean,
It's true. I mean,
including ours.
I mean, that's a good question, because does the leader of your country have to be the guy you want or gal elected?
Right.
Does your party have to now also have control of the House and the Senate? And when everything lines up and all that,
Although,
something tells me these people are also single.
if you were rooting for Brazil in this Winter Olympics, I will salute you, because they won their first ever gold medal in downhill skiing. So that's cool. Yeah, Brazil.
I think it was an American, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yes. But then again,
If I'm not mistaken. No, maybe it was a Norwegian or something
I know.
like that.
But guys, here's another
Yeah.
point. Who's that female figure skater from America that won the gold? She's got the zebra colored hair.
yeah, I forget her name, but her
I don't
dad's
know
an
her
immigrant
name.
from China.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a good point that someone pointed out. I think personally, she's pretty liberal. I've seen that on social media that she's kind of personally pretty liberal. But for conservatives, all we've ever really asked for in our athletes is that you be proud of your country. So here you have an athlete that was celebrating her country, proud to be an American, personally liberal, and in my world, conservatives didn't care at all about her own personal politics. They were just happy she was out there honoring her country, proud to be an American, and they were happy to celebrate along with her. They weren't doing this stuff, well, your politics doesn't line up with my politics, and I can't cheer for you, and all that other stuff. No, it wasn't happening.
On a side note, though, her dad's experience is a little weird.
I've heard all the kids are surrogates.
Yeah, now to his credit, he was a dissident inside of China, and this is just a thumbnail sketch of the story based on what I remember reading. So, dissident in China around Tiananmen Square leaves because he's part of the protests, and so comes over to America, but is a single dad and has 5 kids, raises them all as a single dad, but each one of them has different mommy. They're all surrogates, and he specifically chose Caucasian surrogates to expand the human genome. He wanted to do it based on diversity. You know all that DEI you're mad about? He did it specifically for diversity. And the other thing that's kind of weird is once he found out that she was really good in figure skating, it became the entire focus of her life.
Like an obsession.
Yeah, that it was before school, after school. During COVID, he fired, I don't remember how many coaches, but moved her around the country 3 times inside of that year, spending a little bit of time right here in Colorado training with a coach.
Yeah.
But the stories that I was hearing from the figure skating world and the coaches and stuff are like, oh yeah, this guy hires you and then several months later fires you and does this, and he's very demanding and very much, it was very much a push for, and again, I can't comment on the relationship between he and the daughter at all, but yeah, she won a gold medal, but it's a really weird one when he came over and specifically went for
helicopter parenting for the win.
Yeah, very
That's
interesting.
right.
Very interesting though.
That's
background.
right. And that's, you can multiply that by about 1,000 at the Olympics with stories like that.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely.
So
Yeah, that's
it's
more
still-
common than it is uncommon. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So I try not to dive too deep into those stories because, it ends up kind of bumming you out.
Yeah.
But just look at the surface and the games and happy for the athletes and everyone around them and the coaches and everything. And, just pray that the FBI director is not in the locker room afterward. That would be nice.
That still was weird.
God, what?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to continue
Okay.
here. The Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, says the issue of tariff refunds will come down to the lower courts.
Bessent made the comment on CNN's State of the Union after the Supreme Court ruled against most of President Trump's global tariffs on Friday.
The Supreme Court remanded it down to a lower court, and, we will follow what they say, but that could be weeks or months when we hear them.
The justices concluded Trump overstepped his constitutional limits when he imposed the tariffs without congressional approval. President Trump hiked his new global tariff up to 15% following the decision. I'm Mark Mayfield.
The president had the governors at the White House last night. DJT called the governors in attendance, quote, great leaders, end of quote, adding that by working with the states, we can achieve so much more. Trump went on to say he hopes to see the governors back in D.C. this summer for the Great American State Fair. Part of the country's 250th birthday celebration. Governors Moore of Maryland and Polis of Colorado were initially disinvited, you may remember, to the breakfast by 47 before ultimately being re-invited. All right, the Nuggets fall to the Warriors 128-117. Celtics at the Nuggets on Wednesday. 24 in the Springs, 23 in Denver right now, and that is the latest. I'm Blake Olson. More of the Jeff and Bill Show ahead on News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver, and now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1. The Answer in Colorado Springs. This is where you hear both sides. We are the Jeff and Bill Show.
Your 710 KNUS forecast this early Monday. A few clouds this morning, temperatures in the middle 20s as you start the day. For the rest of your Monday, partly sunny, much warmer, highs around 65. Cloudy tonight, lows in the mid 30s. Even warmer for Tuesday, highs in the low 70s.
Weather brought to you by L&L Heating and Air Conditioning. For quick, trustworthy, and dependable service, call L&L Heating and Air Conditioning at 720-851-1691. Visit them online at bestdenverhvac.com. That's bestdenverhvac.com. You'll be comfortable with L&L. I'm day weather meteorologist Patrice Sutter in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
.710 KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460, along with FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range. This is the Jeff and Bill Show where you hear both sides. We were talking about the Chinese dad of the figure skater choosing Caucasian woman to have surrogate children, and Jacqueline just reminding us, I've been saying this for years, us little blue-eyed Caucasian women are the best.
That's adorable. Good morning, Jacqueline.
Good
That's
morning,
fantastic.
Jacqueline. Cap Hill Phil, I've been pretty consistent. I think I've been pretty consistent that Bondi and Patel should both be fired. But now I actually see a way out for Cash. He could be a hockey coach. Seems to know ways around a locker room.
There we go. I like that.
Did you see the video of him drinking the beer?
Yeah.
Chugging
the beer.
You're
again,
FBI director.
Like, you're the FBI director. What are we doing here? What are we, again?
I feel like if you get a job at that level, sobriety for the 4 years or so you're in that role is a requirement.
Again, if you would have had, I don't know where James Comey went to college, but if they win the national championship and he goes into the locker room and starts doing keg stands with the team, he'd be like, yeah, I'm not sure about this guy. Not sure about this one.
I think it's even better. Jacqueline, yes, we're top shelf.
Fantastic.
All right, let's talk modern rugged leather. From city streets to mountain trails, your gear should go wherever life takes you. That's why at Modern Rugged Leather, every bag is handcrafted from premium, responsibly sourced leather, designed to look sharp, last long, and tell a story of its own. I was walking around my kids the other day, jumping in the car, going, Dad, that bag is so nice. Each stitch, buckle, strap reflects timeless craftsmanship and is backed by a lifetime warranty because quality shouldn't quit when the adventure begins. If you're like me, I was a river guide and mountain guide for 5 summers of my life. We spend pretty much every weekend in the summertime outdoors. We are constantly on the go, but then I also have a professional job. This is the bag for you. You got to check out modernrugged.com, modernrugged.com. Whether it's the boardroom or the back roads, Modern Rugged Leather helps you carry confidence every step of the way. Modern Rugged Leather, modern style, timeless durability, backed for life. Look, life's going to take you places. Make sure your gear keeps up. Shop the full collection and find yours today at modernrugged.com. Again, that's modernrugged.com. Jacqueline, you got to answer this question to me. Now, I want to hear this from all the ladies out there because my social media feed was filled
with what?
With fawning women over the hockey bros. What is it with the hockey guys that girls like so much?
Basically, it's just the professional athletes. That's kind of.
You think I don't know. It seems a little different. No. It seems like it's next level. I don't know.
I was saying, the football. Yeah, basketball, soccer, baseball. Yeah,
just life is never changes from high school. It just continues on. It's just, I don't know. There's something about the hockey guys.
Well, it's also the idea is because again, and I'm speaking from personal experience of seeing myself in the mirror this morning. Some of us are not in very good shape at all, and so the eye candy that the ladies get randomly walking around. Yeah, I am not exciting anybody walking around inside of the grocery store or down the mall. There's nobody sitting there going, yeah, no, not at all. No, I know my limits. I get it. And so that's what it is. It's as much as the guys.
I think there's something special with those hockey guys. I don't know. Maybe it's just gold medal winners.
Well, the issue is that the women just think they don't have to be as good cooks because they don't have as many teeth. So you have to chew as much. You can do a lot of soup. I'm doing that tongue in cheek because I have friends that are hockey players. I get it. Yes, you guys are tough, SOBs, and it could beat the snot out of me. I get it. But yeah, you're missing some teeth. That's okay.
All right, more to come. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver.
And I'm the one that's going to be hit by a hockey player today. Just a blindside check when I'm sitting in the grocery store or something. Pow, and I would deserve it. AM 1460, FM 101.1, The Answer. We're now waking up with you. This is where you get to hear both sides. We are the Jeff and Bill Show.
710 KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range. This is the Jeff and Bill Show. We were talking about the great hockey wins that were taking place at the Olympics, both men and women's coming home with gold, Olympic gold. And I just raised the question, why do women like the hockey boys so much? And Jacqueline wrote in, Jeff, it's all the chipped and missing teeth.
Yes.
Because women like tough men. We don't like wimpy noodles. There you go.
Yeah, it's the same reason that all the Hemsworth brothers, people are like, yeah, same thing. It's the looks, it's the build, and hockey players do very, very well. I know that I had a number of hockey friends, high school, college. Yeah, tough as nails. Yeah.
Well, there you go. The ladies like the alpha males. Well, Billy, big news happening over the weekend as Trump withdraws his endorsement of Colorado Representative Jeff Hurd.
I saw this.
Just a few days after we had done our interview with Hope Scheppelman.
I would like to say that we are partially responsible. But I don't think we credit for this.
We're the must-listen-to show of the Trump administration.
Yeah, that Trump was just perusing his podcast and was like, oh, see what Jeff and Bill did.
But this was part of the complaint that we had was that, at least that I had heard from other Republicans, was that Jeff, while not necessarily making a lot of headlines all the time, was not all that active. I mean, he had never been on our show, wasn't kind of making the rounds, getting in the Twitter battles over all that stuff, and then was, in some cases, voting against the president's recommendation, Trump saying that he deemed Jeff Hurd a problem because of his lack of support of the president's sweeping tariff agenda. He writes this, President Trump, based on a lack of support in particular for the unbelievably successful tariffs imposed on foreign countries and companies, which has made America richer, stronger, bigger, and better than ever before, I'm hereby withdrawing my endorsement of Rhino Congressman Jeff Hurd of Colorado's 3rd District and fully endorsing highly respected patriot Hope Scheppelman to take his place in Congress. Wow.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I was really surprised, and for me, this is the moniker that gets thrown around all the time. It's the rhino thing. And I'm really still surprised that as Republicans, again, for new listeners maybe on The Answer, I have been unaffiliated for 20 years. I'm not a Democrat, despite some of the things you may hear me say, and I'm not a Republican, despite some of the things you may hear me say. I would burn both parties to the ground. And I've never been a Democrat, but I was a Republican at one point and left the party. And I am surprised at how quickly the moniker of rhino is given to someone when they simply disagree with the president. That is a weird thing and something that is relatively new inside of the Donald Trump era. I haven't seen that as much. I've seen people disagree internally. And I go back to the Iraq War and I go back to the neocons. There were two distinct camps inside of the Republican Party when we were going towards war. Yet neither side turned around and said the others were no longer Republicans. Yet in this day and age, if you disagree with something that Donald Trump wants to do, in this case, tariffs, now, side note, which hasn't been the purview of conservatism my entire life up until MAGA. Tariffs were never a good thing. It was all about free trade. And now, if you are conservative and you don't embrace tariffs, you now are labeled as a rhino. I don't understand it. He could have all these reasons why he thinks that Hope could be better, but I think the idea of, and he's a rhino, he's not really one of us as a Republican. Really? That's a weird thing that keeps happening over and over again. I'm not sure that it helps.
Well, labeling somebody a rhino is one thing. On the other hand, you do have party leadership, and when it is one of the top agendas of that party leadership who didn't just like randomly assume that role, but worked, built coalitions, won elections, set the agenda and the tone for the direction of that party, and then makes this one of their hallmark achievements, and you vote against it, there's going to be a consequence. This is just how politics works. And in this case, it's a withdrawn endorsement. And here's where it gets really interesting. According to at least my analysis with ChatGPT, Trump performed better in Congressional District 3 than Jeff Hurd did.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
And if that's the case, this is a very big deal.
I think you're right about that one, that if it's the case that Trump has greater support than Hurd does inside of that district, this is a very big deal. And this can swing it. And if it's only 3 points, let's say that just for the sake of argument, that is 3 percentage points, this could mean 3 percentage points of a change inside of that district, which is rather remarkable when you think about it. And I'm also thinking that if I am a Democrat strategist, I want to face Hope rather than Jeff Hurd, only because Hope doesn't have incumbency. And so because I can take incumbency off the table, if I'm a Democrat strategist, I would love to not have to face the incumbent.
Hurd performed better than Boebert did.
Oh, yeah. He did
so
very well.
you have this unique dynamic where Hurd, who was, I don't want to say he was a moderate, but not at least on the front pages as much as his predecessor, performed better, because I think that's kind of the Republican that you get in Congressional District 3 is that they're farmers, ranchers, and they just don't really want the drama that can sometimes come with a real fighter. Yet they voted for Donald Trump more than they did Jeff Hurd. And now you're bringing back Hope Scheppelman, who wants to be, taking it to the left and fighting them publicly. So what does this mean for Congressional District 3? And the other issue, Bill, was that Hurd had outraised Scheppelman nearly 10-1. So what happens to that money? How is that going to be used now in a competitive primary? Was it a competitive primary until now?
Yeah.
Whoa. So lots to cover.
This is a strange one.
Would love to hear from you. Feel free to jump in. Does this change things? Do you think Jeff Hurd can win a primary? Do you think he wants to? Because that's another issue, too.
Yeah.
Because here's a guy that just kind of appeared on the national stage a few years ago. I think he was well known for local politics.
Yeah.
And served locally. Appears on the national stage. Now has the ire of the MAGA movement. Is it worth it?
Yeah, but Donald Trump's endorsement hasn't paid out in dividends in other races across the country. He's not a 100% winner. So not getting the Trump endorsement, if played properly, isn't necessarily the kiss of death that you think it could be. And does Jeff Hurd still want to be in Congress? I would say yes. And simply because, come on, Jeff and Bill show listeners, you know this. We're going to talk about this for a sec. You know that getting elected to Congress is the single largest paying, highest profile job you can get and not demonstrate a single skill that has anything to do with the job that you will be doing. You do not have to demonstrate any competency. Think of that one congressional representative you hate the most, whoever that is. That is an example that you don't have to demonstrate any competency or ability to do the job whatsoever. Yeah, you still show up. They still call you honorable. You still get to go into Congress. You get all the privileges, and you get that super secret stock trading class they give everybody when they arrive. So you become absolutely phenomenally wealthy when you leave. Why would you leave? There's no way. There's no way.
Almost as good as running a homeless shelter in Los Angeles.
Yes,
All right.
almost.
We'll continue. We got You Choose the News coming up. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver.
And now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. This is where you get to hear both sides. We are the Jeff and Bill Show. We'll be right back.
710 KNUS in Denver.
And now waking up with AM 1460 FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range. This is the Jeff and Bill Show. Billy, it's that time of the morning, especially on a Monday. People really need some You Choose the News.
Yes, it is that time where we get to play America's favorite fake radio news game show. It's You Choose the News. You know how this works. I have scoured the interwebs for moments this morning to find these stories in my hands here. I've given them even more ridiculous headlines so that we can play this fake radio news game show because people in charge do not awake until 7 o'clock in the morning. So when Jeff and I found out we were left totally and completely unsupervised, we absolutely were going to take full advantage of it. But as always, we do need a partner in crime. In some cases, you call him the lookout. Other people call him the fall guy. That is Blake Olson in the sports department. Alrighty, gentlemen, here are today's headlines for you to choose from. Headline number 1, with great vengeance and furious anger. Headline number 2, mom needs a timeout. Headline number 3, beauty in the eye of the beholder. And headline number 4, are you ready to rock? Mr. Hunt, your choice, sir.
Mom needs a timeout.
Yeah, mom needs a timeout. We know being a mommy can be really, really taxing. Can be the most thankless but most rewarding job you ever can have. But you also sometimes just need a break. That is why there is a brand new beverage that has just debuted about 5-6 months ago. I'm just finding it out myself to help moms during those difficult times of the day. Welcome, Mom Water. Mom Water, Mom Water, Mom Water. What exactly is Mom Water? Well, it's a relatively new brand of canned vodka-based beverages. Mom Water's cute gimmick is that flavor corresponds to a woman's name, and they lean toward names that have a decidedly mom's feel. We'll talk about them in a little bit. Are you maybe a Susan? Do you prefer Karen? A Carol? We'll have to see. Maybe you're a Julie. We'll talk about those flavors are in a moment, but it is 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and about 4.5% alcohol, because that's the real important part.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, that's what matters.
That's the important part there. Yes. So here's the thing, though. According to taste testers, because I have not gone out there and tried my own Mom Water myself, they say, you know, when you have that can of LaCroix or some other sparkly seltzer, and you leave it out overnight, and you take a swig, and you're like, that's not good. That's pretty much what it is. It's vaguely fruit flavored. It's still water, but if mom's taking mom water, it's the alcohol that's the most important ingredient. We all know that. So the question is, could you be a Susan, which is a strawberry kiwi? Maybe you're a Karen and you like the lemon blueberry. Carol is the cranberry lime, and Julie, passion fruit. According to taste testers, Susan, the strawberry kiwi, is the most delicious flavor, and the Karen, oddly, comes in number 2 as lemon blueberry. So you can try the mom water for all the moms in your life. Or if you're one of those problem children, just give her some. Just saying. Yeah. Okay, now Blake, your choice, sir. With great vengeance and furious anger, beauty in the eye of the beholder, or are you ready to rock?
Are you ready to rock?
Yeah, are you ready to rock? It is time to rock with the OG from space, Captain Kirk. Yeah, he's laying down some licks. Star Trek legend William Shatner is getting ready to release a brand new album. A heavy metal album, that is. Yes, Captain Kirk is going to be covering Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, along with a whole bunch of new original compositions. The 94-year-old actor-musician has revealed this venture just last week. It was spurred on by the Nuclear Messiah album, Black Flame, where he recorded a spoken word introduction for it. It's actually quite good. When Nuclear Messiah came to life, he said, that was it. I am now going hard rock. Now, he has brought some serious talent to the table as well. Appearing on the album, Zakk Wylde, he of Ozzy Osbourne's band and Black Label Society, phenomenal guitarist. Richie Blackmore, ex-Deep Purple Rainbow guitarist. You've got Henry Rollins from Black Flag. Dude's a badass. And Wayne Kramer out of MC5. Dude, he has got some serious talent hanging with him. He says metal's always been a place where imagination gets loud. And this album is about a gathering forces. And he paused for a while and then said, each artist is going to bring their fire, their precision, their chaos. I think that's what he said. Okay,
Nice
but it'll be fun. Yeah,
invitation.
it'll be fun. Yeah, so he's coming with that one. Now, Jeff, final choice this morning, sir, with great vengeance and furious anger or beauty in the eye of the beholder?
Beauty.
Beauty in the eye of the beholder in an era where algorithms determine all. A Chinese influencer lost 140,000 followers when her beauty filter dropped. Yeah, she's in the middle of going through her morning transformation and talking about her skincare routine, and the filter drops. All of a sudden, her eyes aren't that big, her skin isn't nearly that pale, and her hair is a completely different. This is weird, and the beauty filter kicks right back in. Yes, people are watching beauty tips from someone that has a filter in front of their face.
Vanity. Yeah. It's all vanity.
I need a filter on this show. Okay, that's it. That's the end of Choose the News. Back to you, sir.
All right, coming up in the next hour, we'll dive into the latest on the death of the fentanyl lord in Mexico. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710, KNUS in Denver.
And on AM 1460, FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. We'll be right back. This is the Jeff and Bill Show.